So I'd like to introduce our speaker today, LaLo Towers. He is an actor, he's a musician, and he is based here in Los Angeles. And I'll let him tell the rest, but I just really like to introduce him and thank him so much for being on today and telling your story.
Thank you for having me, Ansley. I'm a lot of things, but at the end of the day, I'm a human being like the rest of y'all. I'm figuring it out as best as I can. I'm learning myself as best as I can. So I am an actor. I am a rapper. I'm a producer. I'm learning how to be a better director of photography, but thank God I have a credit under as a director of photography. I'm a creative. I'm doing my best to make sense of my reality. Everything that I said in the meditation, I firmly believe and I cement in myself every day without being attached to it because nothing outside of me I have control over. So that I do, because that's my state of mind. That's how I'm talking to myself. That's how I'm thinking. That's keeping me in line with the direction that I'm attempting to go in to be a better father, to be a better co-parent, which at one point it was to be a better husband, but that wasn't part of the plan. Part of learning ourselves is catching ourselves in the moment. I don't guess, I know. Part of the plan, gotta be, for the best possible outcome to manifest. I thank God that we have a great co-parenting situation with my ex-wife and that we communicate daily and that I can talk to my daughter every day and that I'm gonna go visit her next Saturday for 2 weeks for her birthday. And I do my best. Ansley, earlier you mentioned about being in a positive state of mind. I wouldn't say I'm always in a positive state of mind. I do my best to outwardly not be mean or rude to people. But on the inside, especially as of this next week, I know that I'm gonna be going through it because I normally smoke 7 grams of weed a day. And when I go see my daughter, I try to be sober. Well, I am sober. I do my best to be sober. So I'm on a tea break. So I know that going from smoking a half ounce every 2 days to nothing and no nicotine from the tobacco leaf or the grabba is gonna suck. I am gonna have to face it, but those are my feelings to face and to process and to, enjoy, I guess. So I try my best to not let that affect how I treat people because it's not y'all's fault and I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. By learning myself, I learned that a lot of them come from my father not facing his demons. And then he didn't face them. And he got to the point where he uh, got pretty much ate alive by his demons. He offed himself. So I could never really confront him about everything that I wanted to confront him about. So as my ex-wife says, it's eating me alive. But for whatever reason, I wake up and I'm breathing and I get to it. And I apologize this. It's the lack of weed, I promise. Um, but I say it to say this, like, we have control over what we do, what's going on in here. I ain't got no control over what's going on outside of me. So I do my best to maneuver with wisdom that I've gained from giving myself love and grace and from really just working on myself and trying to change that train of thought from that voice that tells me that I ain't to listening to the voices of the people that God has put in my life in my 35 years that have told me nice things that I can replace that voice with. And this right here is difficult for me because I was raised to not cry in front of people. So that's why I'm gonna just power through it. And we're gonna be vulnerable or whatever, and we're gonna heal. And God willing, my kid won't have to go through this. And yeah, I don't know, man. Like life's what's up, yo. I have a lot of good friends. Thank God for real. My mom is great. The mother of my child is great. My child is great. I have too many things to be grateful for me to be worried about a dude who put a hole in his head who's in the ground right now. But nonetheless, emotions are not logical or rational. A lot of them have been with me since I was a child. So yes, it is hard to change that train of thought. Yes, it takes work. Yes, it's not pretty. Yes, it's embarrassing sometimes, but we got to work past that embarrassment. We got to work past that insecurity. We got to work past that caring about what people think too much because at the end of the day, I've been to funerals for a lot of reasons and it's always the same. I wish, I wish, I wish, I wish. It gets busy, it gets hard, this and that. I get it. So I do my best to give people their flowers now, I do my best to not beat myself up, and I do my best to be a good father to my daughter. And everything else is just a product of that. Me exploring my career as an actor is just exploring the nuance that is the human's experience. All of us are basically living in the consequences of how we reacted to whatever life threw at us. You became what you had to become to survive whatever that coping mechanism was. We're not there no more, fam. We're here. Even though in here it seems like we're still there. Out here, we're not there no more. And I know it's hard. I used to drink. I used to do a lot of stuff. I used to do addicted to escape. I used to not want to be here. And one of my songs, I said I was losing patience. That couldn't come sooner. I was losing patience, and it's facts. Like, and then when my pops off themselves, it kind of was like that generational trauma thing is real. We do pass down things to our kids that we don't heal from. We do experience things that aren't our feelings. They're probably our grandparents' feelings because they probably went through something and they buried it and gave it to their kids, and their kids are our parents, so they gave it to us. Because we are conditioned to listen to the outside world more than we are conditioned to listen to ourselves. Because we're kids, because whatever. But nah, fam, like we're human beings. I do my best to guide my child, but it's her life to live. I do my best to be there every day. But at the end of the day, like she's gonna grow up and she's gonna fly, and I'm happy as about that. I'm grateful that my child is smart. I'm grateful that my child is quick witted, and sometimes she's a little too confident for her own good, and she thinks she knows everything. And even when she's talking to adults, she's like with the and you know what? She's a beautiful soul, and I'm not gonna tear that down just because I want because the world says we're supposed to dim our light so that we can make people comfortable. Because at the end of the day, my comfort is not y'all's responsibility and vice versa. And it's a hard thing to learn whenever you're a people pleaser, whenever you walked on eggshells around most of the adults in your life because anything, you know what I'm saying? And you're the kid, so they're the adult. You got to follow that chain of command. But I'm not that kid no more. I'm a 35-year-old man. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm an actor. I thank God for today. My glasses broke 2 days ago. My car broke down yesterday. First day of my tea break was yesterday. And I thank God that I'm here talking to y'all and I'm about to go pick up my car. And I went to a gig, 2 gigs yesterday without a car because it was last minute. And I'm still getting to it. And a week from today, I'm be seeing my daughter. And it's good, fam. It's good. I've been with me every step of the way. And I firmly have to say that everything had to happen the way that it happened for this to happen the way that it's happening, for me to have this outlook, for me to have this conversation with y'all, for me to be the father that I am. So all that weight, all that pain, all that suffering that comes with life, hey, thank God for real, because we here, baby. And I apologize, which I'm learning to not apologize about my feelings. But this is because I do smoke a lot of weed to not feel like this every day. And I do have to face this part of me sober, which I have done. But I'm human and I'm not perfect and I got to give myself grace. But I also have to hold myself accountable. So we're balancing every day. We're balancing every day. I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling now. But long story short, thank God for real. Much love, family. Love you, trust you, believe in you, and be safe and love yourself. Because, yeah, hey, life is a nuanced situation, yo. And there is no like one way to do it.
Thank you.
Oh,
That was,
last thing I'll say, a fun fact
yeah.
about my story is that for like 12 years of my life, I always wore shades, prescription shades, everywhere I went. Because I didn't want people to see.
Mhm.
But it's cool. They're gonna see me. So thank God for seeing me.
I see you. It's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay. You're not alone.
Likewise, family. Likewise, for real. I feel that for real. I thank God that I've come to a place where I know that I'm not alone. I just have to, keep processing this until I don't have to process this no more. But life keeps going. We keep finding things to process. But
Yep.
I would say that I have found the root is that my father was heavily damaged by whatever he went through. And thank God for real because I'm still breathing. But yeah, it's gonna be okay. Like my mom said, it's gonna be okay. You gotta love a tea break.
Oh, thank you so much. That was really beautiful. You made me cry. This is what liberation looks like. This is what freedom looks like. You're you're healing at a very deep level, and you're exactly where you need to be, and you're doing amazing. You're doing amazing.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you for, I appreciate it for. And I'm also part of a tea break is that I don't get to sleep because weed helps me sleep. So I'm running off like 2, 3 hours of sleep. So I apologize if I'm trying to hold it together right now.
Yeah, this is one of the most powerful shares we've ever had. You're very connected to you're very connected right now. you know it's very earnest and honest, and I'm just really really grateful that I got to hear you today. So thank you so much, Lalo.
No, it's good. Thank y'all, man, for listening.